Hello and welcome to No Two Gays About It, the podcast for the over 50 gay male. I'm Tom Burke.
And I'm Michael Foley.
And we're here to talk about things that relate to those of us over 50 and gay male. And Michael, I'm going to say one word, and I want you to tell me what instantly you feel. Ready?
I am ready.
Family.
Wow.
Right?
There's a floodgate there. Because biological, I'm just going to use two words, fucked up.
Okay.
Chosen, I'm going to go with, I have been blessed my entire life with amazing people who have always been there for me from the moment I came out up until this very day.
Fantastic.
What does it elicit for you?
So many different things, and that's why when we talked last week, Michael and I met for coffee, and we were talking about certain things. We started talking about families, and I started posing this question to a lot of our contemporaries out there, and the feelings that were brought to the surface were so many different types. There's sadness and happiness and nothingness, and so that started me thinking, is it really important to be part of a family? Is it really important, especially for gay men over 50, to have family ties? So I think that's what we're going to try to figure out today.
Yeah. And it's interesting you brought this up because, like, for the past couple of weeks, I've been haunted by this article that I read in a good way um, about a drag icon up in Portland whose name is Walter Cole. He's a former Army vet, but he also did drag up until the age of 92.
Wow.
And he just passed, and he was an icon up there. And it got me to thinking about the people who took me in when I first came out, which is the drag community. We've talked about that before. And the reason it's been this floodgate of memories that have come back for some reason when I read this article about how these people took me under their wing and had my back, regardless of what was going on or how naive I was or, how not together I was. I was a hot mess. I think as most 18-year-olds are, you know.
Dear, you're still a hot mess. I'm just
Yes,
thought I'd
but
mention that.
it's a different kind of
Okay.
mess. So, yeah, because I have my shit to the curb. I'm still a hot mess, but
Cool.
I am aware of all my messiness,
Awesome.
which is a good thing. So,
Awesome. Well, in my discussions with other gay men and asking about families, a lot of people were bringing up that they feel that the younger generation of gays out there have it a lot easier with their families because there is so much visibility of gays in mainstream media in the world. So families, what I'm hearing, they're thinking that families are a little bit more accepting of them when they come out. Whereas when we were younger, when you were a hot mess and I was also a hot mess, I mean, we're all hot messes, but so many of our contemporaries, when we were 20 or, even up to 30, coming out, they were being disowned by their families. One reason was the stigma and AIDS being a part of that. We were young in the 80s and AIDS was taking over our community. And I think families were just freaked out, which is why a lot of, as I said, contemporaries of ours, were disowned by their families.
yeah, absolutely. I think there's still a large part of the community today, especially amongst the young, who, the homeless youth in the LGBT community is nearly 50% of what actually the entire population of homeless youth is. So
Wow.
they're still dealing with it too, unfortunately.
Sure.
But I do
Yeah.
think for us, we did have that added stigma of AIDS because people were ignorant, and gay equaled AIDS.
Right.
Like there was no gray area. People were like, "Oh, if you're gay, you have AIDS," and that created a whole lot of other issues for us in regard to fear of coming out, and which made our community so much more tight knit and supportive of each other. And again, huge period of time for me where I did understand what family meant for the first time in my life because I didn't have it from my biological family.
So let's talk about that, Michael. What is the importance of having that connection to family? Again, whether it be biological or a chosen family. Why is it important that humans have that connection?
Well, I think for me, it's just to know that somebody has your back, regardless of how fucked up something you do may be, and that you have that support, that they allow you to be flawed and human and to work through your stuff and to be there for you and support you. But
And not
also
only
give you a ruler on the back of the hand if you need it.
exactly, but not only be there to support you during the bad times, but you need that family connection to be there to support you during good things too, to cheer you on, to say, good boy, the attaboy.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, we need that. And whether it be from our family biologically or chosen family, we do need to have that support, but also it's an acceptance without judgment, or I should say without much judgment. Because even in a biological family, there are the crazy relatives, right? The, crazy Aunt Sally and grandpa who's not wearing any pants and cousin Joyce who's totally nuts. And we love them and we're just going to let them be who they are, right? Because they're our family. And I think it's also the same way in our chosen family. There's always that friend who is not wearing pants. It's absolutely crazy. And we just have to,
I want to know this other circle of friends you have that's not wearing pants. Because fortunately for me, all of my biological family and chosen family have worn pants, which
I'm
is
not wearing
I am
pants right
grateful for
now,
that.
Michael. Just
Wow.
telling you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to stand
That's
up and show everybody who's on Patreon so they can see you?
only if we get 25 more subscribers, I will stand up and show them whatever they want to see.
Yeah. But back
Um,
to your point, it's about unconditional love,
sure.
regardless of good times, bad times. That it's it's hugely important for us. And you brought up somebody to cheer you on and say, "Good boy." I didn't have that like through most of my at all of my adolescence and through my late teens and early 20s. And I remember when it's people started paying me compliments, in the back of my head, I was always thinking, "What do you want?"
Yeah.
That's how fucked up the biological family ties screwed me up. So, um, yeah, and it's I couldn't agree more that having somebody to just to say good job
Right.
is
Yeah. I think, we all have those biological ties that were not so supportive. But in choosing a family, and that's something that so many of us gay men, especially over the age of 50, needed to do. We needed to separate from our biological families and find ourselves. And the only way we could really find ourselves is by finding a tribe that was there to be for us, whether good or bad. You found the drag queen community. That was your tribe for a while, correct?
that's correct. So just let's backtrack a little because I'm curious
Sure.
about your family ties, your biological family ties, and when you came out, did they support you? Were they there for you?
Well, um, my biological family, it's this great mixture of the Irish Catholic and very waspy. If you don't talk about it, it's not happening. If we're not looking at it,
Yeah,
we don't need to deal with that problem. So that was my like I never came out to my family. I never said, "Guess what? I'm gay." Um, they would not have had it. They did not want to hear any of that stuff. I was not allowed to discuss that stuff. Even after I was with my husband 35 years ago, he was just kind of a roommate. That's how they would describe
Wow.
him or talk to him. My father was awesome. He would come out and stay with us. He knew what was going on, wouldn't say a word, wouldn't talk about it, but he knew. He, gave us his blessing in the way he could. My husband's family on the other side, incredible. His family was so open and welcoming, and when Scott came out to them, they were like, "Yeah, okay, so what? What's for dinner?" It was like not a big thing at all. So he was blessed with one of the greatest families to accept him. And in fact, when we were, I don't know, maybe we were together 5 years or something. We were at one of his family functions, and he had this whole group of young nephews. And this one nephew introduced us to someone else and said, "These are my uncles." And when he said that to me, I almost like started crying. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm one of his uncles. Like I'm part of this family." I felt so empowered at that moment,
That's
which was
amazing.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my biological family was not so supportive in my, coming out and being a gay man and finding my way as a gay man in the world. So I did need to find my tribe. I needed to find those people that understood me, that got me. And you said something to me once about friends, that they're people who understand us without explanation. And I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. Especially in our community, because let's face it, when the moment we realize we're gay, for most of us, there's this sense of isolation because the wall has to go up. Because
Right.
at some point there's going to be some sort of confrontation or conflict regarding it. Um, and I think if you're a part of a other minority community, you have that cushion within the dynamic of whatever family you're a part of, because there isn't a day where you have to wake up and tell your parents, "Oh, I'm Latino," or "Oh, I'm black," or "Oh, I'm Asian." That you have that insulation from the rest of the world, which we don't and
Right.
never have and still don't, because I have younger friends and I talk about their coming out experiences, and for a lot of them it was a challenge as well. And there are some whose parents open arms accepted them and said, "We love you no matter what." And then there were other ones who have the same struggle that we have, where
Sure.
it's either don't talk about it or get out of my house. Or, yeah, we don't want to hear it. You live your life and just keep us out of it, which is just so unbelievably tragic, to me, that people could bring a child into this world and only accept it conditionally when that child meets their expectations of who they want them to be, as opposed to see them for who they actually are.
Right. And
And
that covers not only being gay, that's all kinds of things. People
yeah,
just want their child to be what they want them to be, which is sad and unfortunate.
yeah, I think for a lot of parents, it's kind of a do-over, that they want their kid to be everything that they never were. And so they expect them to follow whatever path it is that they assign them, as opposed to go, "Oh, look, he likes ballet," or "Oh, look, she likes baseball," and be okay with that.
Right.
And it's heartbreaking, and I think those are wounds that, although they may have healed, the scars are still there and will always carry. And I think that's kind of a plus for us too, because it gives us hopefully a different level of compassion when we look at somebody else's struggle.
Well, it also, we are compassionate to those who are going through it. Like you said, you have these younger friends, and just as you had this drag community who helped you navigate through your coming out and through parts of your life, I think that's one of our, as older, mature gay men out there, it's our job to help the younger generation navigate, especially those who don't have, a supportive family,
Yeah,
biological family?
absolutely. And yeah, one of those younger friends happens to be from Texas, and he identifies as a Republican. Um,
Okay.
but it's kind of awesome because, I'll have conversations with him about things, and he just says to me, "I'm so glad you're not as fucked up as like my other friends." And I'm like, "Well, it's taken a lot of work, and you know, you got the same path, buddy. You have two choices: either go
Right.
south or go north." And I suggest north. It's a little colder, a little more challenging, but it's definitely worth it.
Okay.
Do you like that metaphor?
Sure. I'm still trying to figure it out, but yeah, it was great.
What? I mean, no,
No, no, I
like,
got it.
yeah, okay, all
I
right.
got it. So choosing a family. So obviously you are not still living in New Jersey with the drag community. So when you came to Los Angeles, you had to find yet another new family, another new tribe. And it's not an easy process, is it?
No, and I think it gets more difficult as we get older
Well,
because,
totally.
you know,
Everything gets more difficult as we get older, but making friends definitely does. And you and I can attest to that because we're have left Los Angeles. We were living for over 30 years, and now we're both living in a new city, and that's a tough thing too to make friends. But uh, one misconception about creating a family is, well, anyone gay can be part of your family. No, they really can't. It's not like uh, every black person are friends or every Asian person are friends. You have to find your people, the people who, just like you said with your younger friend, you have to connect on all different types of levels. So your community, your current friend tribe in Los Angeles, do you still consider them as your family?
oh, absolutely, and I always will.
Yeah,
And the difference between moving from LA to Palm Springs as opposed to New Jersey to California, it's much easier to keep in touch with people. People come out here all the time and visit,
right,
as you know, and yeah, that'll never fade. Distance doesn't really, I have two friends back in Jersey who, when we talk or when we see each other, it's like no time passed at all. We fall right into it. It's that comfort level that
right.
friends give you to just be you, um, without any walls up, without any pretense, without any reservation, and you just sort of go balls to the wall, and you are you, and it's a blessing to have that. But like from moving here from LA, it's still challenging on a daily basis to find a circle of friends.
Sure.
Um, and it's probably a little more difficult for you because you have a partner and your social circle is different than mine.
Right. But, we're looking for friends. We're not so much in search of the family because, like you said, these families we've created, they don't go away just because you've left some city. Just as, your biological family doesn't go away if you move away from them. They're always connected to you. My absolute closest friends who I really consider my family are people that I met like day one or two when I moved to New York City a gazillion years ago. They are still part of my family. And, they all have children now, and those kids are my nieces and nephews. And so, yeah, family doesn't go away just because you leave a city. Um, they stay in your heart. That's where your family lives, whether they are biological or a chosen family. So, another question I have for you. Why is it even more important that those of us gay men over 50 have family around them, whether it be chosen or biological?
Again, there's like it's so many things that come to my mind when you ask a question like that. I think one of the most important things is as we get older, our needs tend to change, and because we don't have the traditional family and children that like a heterosexual couple does, or, single folks who may be divorced or whatever, that I think our friendships as we get older become more important because on some levels we are more dependent on each other as a community. Like, you know, I'm the I'm the person who will sit in a hospital room, all night with somebody, because for whatever reason their family isn't here, their biological family, but I'm part of the chosen family. So to me, that's just what I do. Somebody called me at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, "I'm in jail, come bail me out." Guess who would be on his way in the car in 3 minutes? That would be me, because it's important to have that structure as we get older. And not only that, our health,
Right.
sometimes goes a little south, and you
Well,
know,
good to know. If I ever get in jail, I know who to call now.
exactly.
Yeah, it is really important for those of us, because just as you said, we did not have the conventional life that a lot of people. There are many gay men our age who do have children who are going to be taking care of them. But just as I mentioned, my friends' children, anytime I see them, I say, "Okay, which one of you are going to be changing my diaper soon? Because get ready." Um, I'll
And
put
what's the response?
I am so lovable, Michael, that they all are
Mm,
lining up for it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Sure. I don't
But
either.
yeah. But not only do we need that, someone to help us in our later stages of life, but we can do that for each other. I definitely will be there for you if you need. I'm not going to change your diaper, but
Can I get a kidney?
from me, sure, why not? I got two.
Oh,
They'll
negative.
work.
So just let's get that out of the way right now.
Okay. That's very good. Sure, but we need to have our family, our tribe with us. As we grow old, there's so many new experiences that we need to share with other people. That some of them are negative, but so many are positive, and we need people around us to celebrate life's milestones. And you just don't want, like, the guy that you met at the grocery store, or the friend of the friend of the friend. You want people who really mean something to you,
Yeah.
who are part of your heart. And that's why a chosen family to those of us over 50 in the gay community is really important to us. Um, but as you said, it's also really difficult to make true friends as we're aging. Why is that?
I just, I think people are set in their ways, and
Yeah,
maybe have a community of their own and are less willing to let somebody new in. Um, because I have found that, Palm Springs can be a little cliquey, but LA was like that too. So, well, I
sure.
think it's
And
everywhere. Every big city is
yeah,
hard to, open that door, but then, once you do, it's kind of a wonderful thing. And I've been lucky enough that a lot of people I've known from Los Angeles have moved to Palm Springs before me. So I have a bit of a community here, just from knowing people back in LA. And I've been really lucky here, and have developed some close friendships. One in particular that I'm incredibly grateful for, who from the time I moved out here has bent over backwards to, just to help me and to be there. And it's it's those things that sort of make you stand back and just, say thank you to the universe for bringing these folks into our lives.
right.
Um, yeah, and I found that when I went to LA too, it was just bizarre. And you became part of that family. And I look at the holiday dinners we would have when we lived there. Um, and one of our best friends got married, and all of a sudden we had these two different families coming together. And we would have Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners with like 40 to 50 people,
Right.
with no drama. Everybody accepted everybody else. It was just this wonderful environment. And I remember the first time really that it dawned on me, um, where I sat back, because I usually do all the cooking, so I'm a little busy. But there was a moment where I sat back in the early 2000s and just thought, this is what family's supposed to be like.
Oh,
Um, yeah. And it was such a, because holidays were never joyous for me.
right.
Um, so to finally find that was just one of the biggest blessings of my life.
That's brilliant. Yeah, holidays are really tough on a lot of people because of family issues. And like you said, it's when you find your family and you can step back and think, okay, I'm there now. I got it. Um, I used to think about families, those families that get together every Sunday at whoever's house and they have make these big dinners, and I always thought I wanted to be a part of something like that. Because it just wasn't in my world at that moment. Um, Now I think like, oh no, I don't think I want to do that. But so, question: your biological family, are they completely out of your life? You're not involved at all with them?
Yeah, I am. After my grandmother passed in the early 2000s, I cut everybody else in my family off soon after because she was really the only person that I felt accepted me unconditionally and was always there.
Yeah.
Um, and, she struggled a little bit because you have this, old Sicilian Catholic who had very specific ideas of what life was, but she was always willing to bend. When I first moved to LA and I lived with my first boyfriend, um, she would always call and say, "How's your friend Bob?" And I was like, "He's my boyfriend." And she was like,
Right.
"God damn it, Michael, I know that." I was like, "Then say it." And from that moment on, she'd call and goes, "How's Bob, your boyfriend?"
Ah, sweet.
So yeah, she was always willing. So once that connection was gone, for me, the rest of it was a very easy thing to let go of. And as you know, my mom just passed, my biological mother. Um, I should just say my womb parent because she was anything but a mother. Passed away at the beginning of the year, and I'd always wondered what I would experience when that happened because I thought I had gotten all that stuff taken care of. Um, and it was weird. All I could think of was that song from a chorus line. I felt nothing because I had dealt with all the baggage. She was an alcoholic drug addict, a pathological liar. And there was that moment where I thought to myself, if this was somebody I just met randomly, would I want him in my life? And the answer was no. From that moment on, it was such an easy thing to let go of. And, anybody could have a child. It takes a lot to be a parent.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
she was anything but. And I also found forgiveness for her, which for me was part of my healing process because, you know, she had her own path that wasn't easy, um, a lot by choice. She had an affair with her best friend's husband that lasted 18 years. So that brought a lot of dysfunction into the house and
Wow.
all this other stuff. So, a lot of it was her choosing and she chose to ignore her two children. So, yeah, to make a
Okay.
short story long about my biological family, there you have it.
Okay. All right. So the big conclusion today then is that yes, it is incredibly important to feel connected to other people and to feel like you're a part of something, whether it be a biological family or as we're finding, it's so much more magical to find that chosen family,
Yeah.
to step back while you're cooking a holiday meal and look around the room and go, wow, this is it. I
Yeah.
found them.
And to be
I
able to find it later in life, I think
Sure,
you treasure it so much more.
sure. Yeah, that's awesome. I hope everyone out there, all of our other gay men over 50, I hope they all have found their chosen families. If you haven't, we're here for you. Come to Palm Springs and you can be our family. You could be the crazy grandpa with no pants on. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. That's me.
That's
I'm
you,
the
yeah.
crazy guy with no pants on. You could be the crazy aunt who's dating 12 people or whatever. Who cares?
And wear lots of jewelry.
Tons of jewelry
Yes.
and lots of makeup. Cool. Yeah, no, I do hope that everyone out there is finding their chosen family. And Another problem with aging in our community is that there's a lot of loss, and we'll start losing our family members. So we need to keep replenishing them. And that sounds kind of weird,
Yeah, it
but
does.
but
But
we
I
do
think
need
I
to
think
have.
everybody knows what you mean.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have to have those people around us so that, to celebrate life's wins and to support us during loss and tragedy. But as we've been talking about, the most important thing is to feel that connection and unconditional acceptance of who we are. That's what we're all searching for. So, more power to all of us and all of our chosen families. Um,
Yeah, and we have a tendency to isolate as we get older too. So I
yeah,
just want to, push everybody out there just to maybe go outside of your comfort zone a little
right.
and open yourself up to new people, new experiences, and as challenging as it is, because believe me, I know, and
Oh, it
I
is
think you do too, Tom.
challenging.
It is. It's
Yeah,
really challenging to put yourself in a vulnerable position. It's so much easier to sit at home and watch Me TV and Bewitched at 2 o'clock in the morning, and
but
but
then when you need somebody, where are they? And when you need to celebrate something, where are people? So yeah, get up, get outside, experience people and life. And I know how difficult it is. Let Michael and I help you. You know, we're here for you. Any way that, we can, reach out to us. How can people reach out to us, Michael?
you could touch base with us at No Two Gays About It. That's the number 2, and it will always be that moniker on every social media platform that we use. No, the number 2 Gays About It. You could hit us up at gmail.com. You could find us on TikTok. You could hit us up on Instagram as well, or Facebook. And again, No Two Gays About It. Or you could become a member of our Patreon family. And that is patreon.com/no two gays about it. Again, the number 2.
Yeah, and
And yeah,
if
I have conversations daily with people on Facebook and Instagram. And it's odd because I never thought I would consider myself having a social media family, people that I've never met, but I do. And there are folks I talk with all over the country and all over the world, like pretty much at least once or twice a week, who I have grown very fond of. So just push your boundaries if you can.
I mean, look at us, two old gay guys on frickin' TikTok. How the hell did that happen?
Oh, and FYI, folks, we are just 15 people away on Patreon from getting Tom to go bowling. So please join us over there, become part of our Patreon family. You could
Yes,
start at a tier that's as low as $3, and it just goes up from there, and you get early access to the show, and we'll be adding perks along the way as we go.
and I
And
promise to wear pants if I go bowling. So,
well, at a
please.
bowling alley, you actually don't have to. So that would be the one place you could go and not have pants on, and I don't think anybody would bat an eye.
Okay, sounds
So something
great.
else to look forward to.
Yes, it is. And so, for all of you out there, please cherish your chosen families, or cherish your biological family if you're lucky enough to have them surrounding you as well. And Michael and I will cherish each other and the rest of our chosen families as we get out there and try to build on what we already have. So, until then,
Absolutely.
Michael.
Until then, Tom, thanks everybody out there for tuning in and having a listen and being part of our family here. We greatly appreciate it, and we will see you next week.
See ya.